Hi there, I'm Emily. I'm the owner of Emily Foster Creative, a branding and website design studio that helps event professionals elevate their online presence so that they can book their ideal clients. I wanted to share with you today a quick kind of brain bite presentation about how you can build an elevated website to help grow your business, save you time, raise your prices, and ultimately attract your most ideal clients so that you can build a business that you love, that feels rewarding, and feels worth your time and investment. So there's a few components to building an elevated website that we'll get into. I wanted to just give a quick little crash course intro into who I am and why I'm qualified to talk about this. So I'm a branding and website designer. I have about 8 years of experience as a designer and 5+ years of experience in the event industry. I actually worked at an event marketing agency before starting my own business and was literally on the ground of working events sometimes, selling tickets, helping set up, helping take down, things like that. And my path into design actually started way back in high school with event planning. I used to want to be an event planner, and my very first t shirt design actually was for an event that I put on all by myself as a teenager. So, a long history of working with events. I actually should have put longer than 5+ years because that event was much longer than 5 years ago in high school. But I'm really passionate about the event and hospitality industry and helping you build a business that you really feel great about and that doesn't burn you out. So I help event pros build strategic, personality aligned brands and websites so that they can do just that, grow a really successful inflow business. So, an elevated website, let's just get into it right now. I think that there's a huge difference between just having a website, like most people can do, and then having an elevated website. The biggest difference is that an elevated website is going to have an ROI, it's going to work for you, make your life easier, and ultimately book your ideal clients. So, it should attract and convert your ideal clients, again, make your life easier. It should reflect the high value of your work and your expertise. There are so many event pros who don't have websites that are reflecting that, and it's really unfortunate. And then ultimately, it should make you money. Even if you're not directly selling services, like literally taking payments for your services on your website, your business should have a website that is converting people into booked clients and into money and revenue and profit for your business. So the reason you should care is that a great website helps you stand out in a saturated market. As we know, there are a ton of event agencies and professionals out there in the world. A lot of people kind of get into the industry thinking that they can just be an event pro, and there's not a huge barrier to entry, so that does make for a saturated market, but I've never let that stop me. I don't think that should ever let anyone stop themselves from being a successful event professional and having a successful event business. Your website should also reflect the quality of your work, like I mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, people who are looking to book with event professionals of any type, whether it's a planner or coordinator or like a venue, caterer, etc., they're really judging you on your website more than you actually think. And that also ties down to your branding, your messaging, and everything like that. So, unless it's accurately reflecting your work, you're just going to be losing customers more than you know. And then building a business with longevity really requires a website. You can definitely have a successful business without a website, but the question of whether it will have long-term success and be able to kind of like rinse and repeat itself with your marketing, it's a lot harder without a website. And then it's also your biggest unfair advantage. So having a website is such a great opportunity to stand out and to show so many things about your business and really set you apart from the sea of sameness that is the rest of the event industry. So we're going to quickly dive into 5 components of an elevated website. This could be an entire course if we wanted it to be, but I'll just give you an overview of the 5 steps basically to create an elevated website, and then there's so many things within these 5 categories that you can do, but if you could at least get a little bit of a start on each of these on your own, you're going to be leagues ahead of your competitors. So It starts with strategy. Let's actually take a step back real quick. We have strategy, which means branding and website strategy. So, brand strategy is a lot of the psychology and the messaging behind your brand, the way that you're making your ideal clients feel, how you're standing out in your market, things like that. Copywriting is going to be your messaging. Design is both your branding design, like your logos and your colors and your typography, and then also your website design. And then content is the actual content on your website, like images and blog posts. And SEO stands for search engine optimization, which is ultimately one of the best ways for your website to get found on Google. Strategy is the number one most important thing if you're going to be reinventing yourself through your branding and your website design. It's a non-negotiable, although a lot of people think it is negotiable, but it's really essential to laying the foundation for everything that you'll do from there. A quick tip is to check out this book called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. It really talks about how you can put yourself in your client's shoes and then figure out how you fit into their story, because one of the biggest things about the event industry is that you are helping your clients reach an end goal and you're not actually the star of the story. You're like the person orchestrating everything in the background. So if you can figure out a strategic way to place your business as the guide that's supporting your client in their end goal, their end mission, their motives, and everything like that, then you're going to be so much more successful for that. So start with your strategy. Copywriting is the next step. This is the written voice of your brand, and it's basically when you think about things like brand keywords, which I don't mean SEO keywords, I mean like strategic words that accurately represent the feeling of your business and are going to help you communicate with your ideal clients. Your brand voice is usually established after we figure out your brand strategy, and that's what helps communicate with those clients. It will also help you build a story that feels really authentic to the clients that you're trying to communicate with and sets you apart from your competition, because your copywriting on your site is so much more than just providing information. It's about driving sales, creating a brand presence, and ultimately making your ideal clients feel something so that they take action. Design is the next component of a successful website. We often think of website design as the first component. It's super important. I would probably argue one of the most important parts, but in order to have a successful website, you do need to have strategy and accurate messaging first. So the two components of design that I like to talk about is branding design and website design. So your logos, colors, and fonts are going to play a huge part in your brand feeling. And then you also need to think separately about your website design, like the user experience, the layout, and then all of the intricate details that can really set your website apart. So this is like the visual voice of your brand, and it combined with your copywriting is going to make a successful website. Next, we have content, which is actually different than copywriting. A lot of people, when they think that they're hiring a copywriter, they think of the fact that they are hiring someone to maybe write blog posts, maybe headlines and things like that, but it's actually two separate things. So content is your blog posts and informational kind of content on your website. It also includes your website images, and it can include other value adds like lead magnets. That's another really great way to provide value on your website. So ultimately, all of these details need to be really strategic too. There's so many different tips we could talk about with blogging. Website images need to be selected very carefully, especially for event pros. So you're curating a really thoughtful experience on your website, and you need to curate a portfolio that shows the best of your work. So being really intentional about this content is important so that you can reach your ideal clients. Lastly, we have SEO, which is search engine optimization. This is how you get traffic to your website, which is ultimately the most important part, because if you do all 4 of the previous steps and you're not getting anyone to your website, then what's the point, right? So your SEO is really important. There's a couple parts of it that includes content, like we talked about on the last slide, but then it also includes some technical details. So I'm going to provide you with some tips on that. So let's get into that. So these are 3 quick tips to get you started. I have a longer checklist. If you ever want to reach out, feel free. But just for the sake of providing you with some really awesome information, these are things that you can go do today. So look into your contact form and think about if it's quick to fill out and strategic. Is it taking people a long time to fill out so that they're getting distracted? Are you asking the right questions to get enough information about your client before you reach out to them? Think about what that user experience is like. And then connect your Google Analytics. A lot of people haven't done this. You may have. If you have, then my little lesson for you would be to go check your Google Analytics out and figure out where you're getting traffic from, and then get some ideas for how you can improve it. And then finally, review the mobile view of your website and ensure it's easy to navigate and legible. This is something that so many of your competitors are probably missing. So if you can take a quick look at your mobile view, make sure that you can access all of the pages really easily, make sure you can read everything, and make sure that it's very easy to contact you, then that's going to really set you apart. A little bonus tip of that is that if you have people contacting you via a phone number, make sure that the phone number is clickable so that they can easily call you, and make sure that your email is clickable too so that they can easily email you, because a lot of event pros actually aren't doing that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for your time and for taking the time to listen to this Brain Bite. I'm so excited to see what you do with your website, and I hope that you can build an elevated online business presence. Thank you so much.